In Myanmar, the military last February ousted the democratically elected government, jailing the president Win Myint and state councillor Aung San Suu Kyi. In Nicaragua, opposition members were jailed on treason charges ahead of the November election as President Daniel Ortega consolidated power. In Uganda, President Yoweri Museveni was re-elected in January 2021 after security forces arrested and beat opposition supporters and journalists, killed protesters and disrupted opposition rallies.
The conventional wisdom these days is that autocrats are in the ascendancy and democratic leaders are in the decline. But when we looked back over the last year, we found that that view was actually too superficialist, too simplistic.
In fact, there are encouraging signs of democratic uprisings, says Roth.
Popular protests for democracy against the autocrat. And we've seen this in a range of countries, in Thailand, Myanmar, Sudan, in Uganda, Nicaragua, Cuba, Poland, many parts of the world. These outpouring of supports for human rights, for democracy, and against autocratic rule.
But across the world, tens of thousands of people who have stood up for democracy and human rights have been jailed, beaten or killed. In Russia, opposition leader Alexei Navalny is in prison after surviving a nerve agent attack. China has locked up thousands of pro-democracy activists.
To maintain power by force is a very short-term strategy. If you look at Myanmar, where the junta performed a coup almost a year ago, all they have is force. The entire population is against them.
The report says that in countries that still permit reasonably fair elections, opposition politicians and electorates are getting more sophisticated.
The emergence of broad political coalitions, alliances for democracy. And we saw these coalitions oust Prime Minister Babic in the Czech Republic. They got rid of Netanyahu in Israel. They were really behind the coalition that chose Joe Biden to contest Donald Trump. And today in Hungary and in Turkey, Prime Minister Orban and President Erdogan are facing similar broad coalitions that are really putting their grasp on power in jeopardy.
Human Rights Watch says the leaders of democratic countries must end their support for autocratic regimes like Saudi Arabia or Egypt and do a better job of delivering for their own people in the face of huge problems like poverty, the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change. Henry Ridgewell for VOA News, London.